Hello, everyone. I'm here with another set of true horror stories from real life. So, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe for more. Now, the first story is called The Stalker. This one comes from a Reddit user. I was working in the early 2000s as a secretary at a busy doctor's office. One of our doctors was a surgeon. He had an accent that was hard to place, but he was very young for such a prestigious position. A bit of gossip around the water cooler revealed that his family name was quite well known in the world of high finance. It turns out his father owned a massive bank in the country where the doctor was from. I had a stalker who would call about twice a week. He would ask to speak to the doctor by name. If the doctor was unavailable, he would ask for me. He always seemed polite and was very persistent. The calls would come from different numbers, so we just kept blocking them. The calls would start coming from blocked or private numbers. Well, one day we received a package. It was sent to the doctor. It was a small velvet pouch containing what looked like a small shiny stone. It might have been jewelry, but it wasn't my department, so I didn't really look at it. I took it to the doctor's office and told him there was a package for him. His face drained of color, and he practically ran out of the room. I heard him on the phone shortly after. I could hear him speaking urgently in his native language, which I understood because my mother is from there. I could just barely hear what he was saying. But the gist of it was someone from the old country had found him, and now they had something that belonged to them. They demanded it back. He left work early that day. As soon as he left, I called the police and told them about the package and the conversation I overheard. They said unless it was something big like diamonds or gold, there was nothing they could do. And also, since the guy wasn't there anymore, there was no crime in progress. Also, the package had arrived at the office and it was all above board. The cops said it wasn't their problem. The next day, he came in late and everything seemed fine. At the end of the day, he asked me to stay late to help him clean out his office. As he was leaving, he asked me to lock up after him. As I turned off the lights, I heard the phone ring in his office. I went in to answer it, and the call was from the same area code as the last call. I told the person on the other end that the doctor was unavailable and hung up. About 5 minutes later, there was a loud crash from inside the doctor's office. I went in to see what happened, and there was glass on the floor and the velvet pouch was open. The shiny stone was gone. On his desk was a note written in the same language as what I had heard him speaking on the phone the day before. I called the police again, but they said they still weren't interested. A few days later, some of the staff were talking about the incident, and it was decided that we should all go out for drinks after work to take our minds off things. Well, the doctor wasn't invited and he wasn't happy about that. When he left work that night, he stopped me and asked me what I was doing that night. When I told him I was going out with my friends, he told me not to go. I told him that wasn't his decision and I went out for drinks. Well, we were having such a good time that we forgot the time. We got home about 1 a.m. I went straight to bed. About 6 a.m., I woke up to the sound of screaming and banging on my door. My roommate and I were living in a quiet neighborhood, so this was out of the ordinary. I got up to check it out and I saw a pair of feet running up my stairs. I peeked out the window and I saw the doctor's car speeding away from my house. I didn't think anything of it until about 7:30 a.m. when I got a call from the police. Apparently someone had broken into my house while I was sleeping. All my jewelry was gone. The only thing missing that was valuable was a necklace that was a gift from my grandmother that I never wore. It was made of silver and pearls. The only reason it had any value was sentimental value. I had taken it to be fixed before, and the repair shop owner had told me it wasn't worth much. That day at work, I mentioned to the doctor that I had been robbed, and he looked very uncomfortable. I don't know if he was acting or he really was uncomfortable, but he practically ran out of the room and went to the bathroom. I felt sorry for him and I thought maybe he knew something. After work, I went to the police station and told them about the doctor's reaction to my story, and they agreed to talk to him. Of course, he denied knowing anything about the robbery. The police talked to him about the package and the phone calls, and he finally admitted that the items belonged to his family. He said he had no idea why somebody would want them back, and he definitely wasn't involved. Police said, "Thanks for your time, doctor, and let us know if you remember anything else." Well, the next day, he was fired from the hospital. I guess the scandal was too much. I don't know. That was the last time I ever saw him. I never did find out what the shiny stone was, but I did get my necklace back. It was on the doorstep when I got home from work one day. There was no note or anything. I wonder if the bad guys got it back from the doctor. That was the stalker. And next, we have the ghost bus. This one comes from a Reddit user. My friend and I were heading home from a party at around 4 a.m. The party was about 2 miles away from our apartments, and it was a pretty normal night. No weird fights, strange people, etc. We were both pretty drunk, and we decided to catch the bus home instead of taking an Uber. We got on the bus and sat down. Everything was fine until we got to our stop. When we got off the bus, we noticed that it was filled with a bunch of skeletons. Some of the skeletons were sitting in the seats like they were riding the bus. Some of them were standing. Some of them were even dancing. Not being very drunk, we just started laughing. My friend and I looked at each other and started cracking up. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. Then the driver got off the bus and approached us. He was wearing a skeleton costume and had a mask on. He asked us if we were enjoying the ride. Then he started laughing. It was then that we realized that the bus was full of other drivers from the bus company. They were all wearing masks and skeleton costumes. My friend and I were terrified. We ran to my apartment building, which was only about a 10-minute walk away. When we got to my apartment, my friend called his girlfriend to come over and be a witness that we weren't crazy. And then we called the police. The police showed up and started asking questions. We told them about the bus, the driver, the other guys, but they couldn't find anything. They checked with the local bus company, and it turns out the bus driver was off duty, and he wasn't supposed to be driving the bus at that time. We told the cops about the party we just came from, but they said that the driver would have had to have left the depot with those people at midnight, and there was no record of that. So we don't know what that bus was doing at 4 a.m. or why it was full of skeletons. We never saw that bus again, and we haven't gotten on a bus since that night. And that was the ghost bus. Now, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe for more. But I've been your host, and we'll catch you next time.